What's up, baby dolls? Thanks for tuning in to the Look What We Found podcast. My name is Daniel, and I'm here with
Louie.
That's all.
That's
just
it.
me and Louie. Well,
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
You know, guys, the thing is about Chris. He's real temperamental. He's a sensitive guy. He gets
Very sensitive.
angry real quickly, and I know he really keeps his composure on the show, but it's been a problem. It keeps getting worse and worse, and he quit the show again. So this is the second time he quit the show. We asked for him to come back. We're hoping he comes back.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought he was kidding and he was just like doing the Amazon with somebody out there.
Right.
But I think he actually quit this time.
I think he might have actually quit. So if you guys are out there and you think you're funny, you think you have what it takes to be on the Look What We Found podcast, the slot is probably open next week.
Yeah.
And, just let us know. Send us a joke.
Video,
right?
obviously.
With video audition joke.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're not comfortable doing it by yourself, I would recommend getting a couple mannequins.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one that looks like me. Maybe one that looks like Louie, because he's not going to quit the show, and I'm not going to quit the show.
Not at all.
And just pretend we're laughing at it, and sit on a couch, record yourself, and we'll take any application.
Should we ask for anything that Chris has, like some of his fortes?
Like some of his attributes.
Yeah, sexual experiences.
Okay.
You have to be like a black belt level with your sexual experiences.
I would say for sure at least a brown belt. You don't want to be like
missionary.
Me, I'm like is orange like the second belt after the white belt?
It depends what kind of art you're doing, but let's just say there's white, yellow, and then orange. I think is the
orange, green, brown, black.
Yes, let's do that.
Oh, did I skip blue?
But we're making up our own sexual martial art.
That's true. Okay. I think maybe there's only 4 levels.
Chris Kundo or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Kundo. It's going to be white, yellow, blue, and black.
Cool. Keep it simple.
I'm a yellow belt.
Yeah, I think I'm there too, man.
Louis might be like yellow with a couple stripes on it type of belt.
I do think I tried maybe more stuff.
Yeah, I think I think for sure you're about to test for the next belt, or you know how you get a belt and they put those little flags on the side in Taekwondo or something.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just a yellow, and then you're
first dan, second dan.
Yeah, you're like the third one.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and then you might test pretty soon.
If I'm saving up for the test,
yeah. So you're kind of practicing your
I'm
forms.
Practicing whenever I get a chance, but not really committed.
Yeah, like I think probably you're in the stage where like you maybe haven't tried the Amazon yet, but you're shadow boxing in the mirror. You know what I mean?
Like
lifting lifting your legs up, looking to see what kind of expressions you might have.
I might get caught like doing a move that I'm not ready for by myself.
Right.
And I think like Jasmine might catch me. Jasmine might catch me practicing for the Amazon, and I'm gonna be like, she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh man, my hamstrings were really tight all day. I'm just stretching, babe."
From that missionary the other day. So we would like, if you want to replace Chris, we are looking for at least a blue belt. I think in sexual mastery, and by sexual mastery we just mean the type of thing. The array of things that you like to do, and they have to be adventurous sex person. Yeah, that's the first thing we're looking for. Second thing we're looking for, if you want to join the show, what do you think, Louis?
Well, I think it's temperamental.
Temperamental, yeah, okay. I would
mixed with charming.
Yeah, so I would say one thing about Chris that you guys probably don't see is that he comes in pretty angry most of the time, right?
Yes.
Comes in you think he's maybe angry, maybe he's upset, and then, he's like, this is just how I am. And slowly he starts turning on the charm.
Yeah.
Right? Until you see him how he is on the show.
I will say that about Chris. I think Chris is rough around the edges at first, but then you start to like him more and more, as opposed to most people. They put up a front, and then you start disliking them more and more.
They slowly disappoint you, as it goes on.
We're disappointed by Chris on the first day.
Right away, you're disappointed.
And we stayed disappointed maybe for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then eventually you stick around, we start to like Chris.
Exactly.
We need something like that.
We need something like that. So if you're kind of mean and get real fussy and upset at the beginning of things, but then turning into a charming person, that's something that we like too. So pretty much those two things will be fine.
That's all.
Yeah,
that's all he has.
You can talk. Yeah, those are his two qualities. All right.
Okay. What do you want to talk about today? How are you going to break the ice?
You know, I don't usually do this type of thing, but I feel like I have to tell some people about this. I wish I had a larger stage to tell people about this. This is not funny whatsoever.
Okay, great.
But I feel like people need to know this information.
Yeah.
Because it might be super helpful to somebody.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a second and use this super large platform we have with a small amount of listeners.
Yeah.
And I think I can help somebody.
Okay.
Amber had been diagnosed with gallstones recently.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know what gallstones are? Okay. Gallstones, similar to kidney stones.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it's the same type of buildup. Incredibly painful.
Sounds
right?
like it, man.
So painful. I had to take her to the emergency room, and she got like morphine, and she was having these bouts of pain, really, really bad pain, laid out, can't even move type of pain.
Yeah.
The doctor will tell you that you have to have surgery. It's the only option. Right? They say it's the only option. There's no other fucking option. You have to have surgery. We have to rip your fucking gallbladder out. There's no other option, right? You might go online. It might say something like, "Oh, drink lemon juice or apple cider vinegar." One of those things, right?
Yeah.
We found these pills on Amazon. And they have a really great name to them. This is not a joke. This is a real fucking thing that happened, right?
Okay.
And because my friend Mariano told me about him, he's like, one of my friends had gallstones, and she took these for 3 days, and they went in for surgery, and they couldn't find any gallstones. I was like, shut the fuck up. They're just ripping people's gallstones out left and right, you know? So
hold on. His friend, before getting put under, They found out there was no more gallstones to be found.
It was, I believe, during, because it's a scope. So like when they go in to take out the gallbladder, they poke a little hole on one side, a tiny little incision, and that's where the camera is. Okay. And then they have this other one, and that's the one that goes and will suck them out or cut them out. Mm-hmm. So the camera goes in to look around for the gallstones. Yeah. Can't find any gallstones.
What the fuck?
I said, no way. I was like, well, you know. Mm-hmm. And now these reviews they're awesome reviews. 35,000 reviews. Okay. Got rid of them. Amber takes them to the doctor. She's like, what about these pills I found on Amazon? Yeah. Of course she says, no fucking way, right? Yeah. Amber takes them for like 2 weeks, a week and a half, something like that. Hasn't had fucking any pain at all. Now, we haven't gone in to get it looked at again, but she was having them every couple days, every 3 days, every 4 days. And we put it to the test in Hawaii, man. We were eating like shit, drinking a bunch, all the stuff that would set it off. So I just want to tell you guys, there is a pill called Stonebreaker, and if you have gallstones or kidney stones, check it out.
Yeah. Enter promo code Look What We Found when you...
I know it sounds like an advertisement, but I'm like, people need to fucking know this shit, dude, man.
That's fucking crazy to me because obviously, where's this company based from? Like, you don't know?
I have no idea. Now, I looked up the ingredients.
Okay.
And basically, they're just some herbs, and like the main one at the beginning is known, in Eastern medicine to dissolve stones. So, it's known for that and everything like that. Definitely don't use it while you're pregnant or breastfeeding. I'm not trying to give medical advice, even though I am, because fuck these doctors.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Rip out your gallbladder without even taking a look at the fucking pills. Yeah. She just said, no, nothing works. There's no hope. You rip it out. That's the only option.
Fucking nuts to me that they're willing to do that. She didn't even reach out to look at the fucking thing?
Was like, no, that stuff doesn't work. You might as well get the egg out and, cast a spell type of a thing. She basically laughed in her face about it,
Doctors can be dismissive, dude.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, I don't go to the hospital a lot. I don't go to visit. I'm just going to die one day, and then that's when I'll go to the doctor.
Me too.
But I finally convinced, the missus to go to the doctor to check out her back. And it's a chronic thing that she's had for years, right?
Oh, gosh.
And I go like, hey, you're still young. Fuck, if you need therapy, do it now. If you need God forbid you need something more than therapy, it's still best to get it done while you're younger.
Right.
But we go after years of convincing. She finally makes an appointment. She doesn't even have a primary health doctor, like and this a specific one for her. So she's doing all of that because she's never gone. She's like me. And we go, and would you go with me? Yes, no problem. And I'll go with, I'm there to support you because that's the kind of fucking boyfriend I am, dude. But we go, and the doctor just kind of checks her, and then he goes like, lift this leg. Nah, lay down and lift this one. He's like, you just need to stretch. I was like, hey,
this
you piece of
asshole.
shit. He's like, her bone, you can feel her bone. And then like, she had to tell him like, no, my bone protrudes a little bit. That's not normal. That's not how I had it. It's like, oh, okay. Let's get you some X-rays. But prior to that, his attitude, not that he had a bad attitude, but it was just so dismissive. I think I could have done better. Like, I was like, okay, well, describe the pain 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Can you tell me the type of things you do?
Yeah.
Which now, if you go to a chiropractor, they'll ask you a whole bunch of weird questions. Like,
that's the opposite. I hate chiropractors.
Do you really hate chiropractors?
And I'll tell you why I hate chiropractors.
Please.
Yeah, I work in insurance, auto insurance to be specific. So I deal with accidents, and I'm sure that chiropractors are, beneficial to some cases, but the ones I see are just fucking bullshit for the most part. You like a little tap. And then they're fucking injecting people with, what do they do sometimes? They do imaging. They recommend imaging that they don't like for.
The chiropractor recommends imaging?
Sometimes, other than radiology. I was like, why are you? Because even if you find something torn in the muscle, you cannot fix it.
Surgery.
Yeah, you're only there for the spine. So shit like that to inflate the medical bill, to then demand more, or the policy limit. And I defend I'm on the other side of things. So to me, chiropractors are pieces of shit. At least the ones I deal with.
I understand that, because I feel like I've heard that as soon as you get in an accident, they're like, go to the chiropractor. You get all this fucking money. Go to the chiropractor.
Yeah, something like that.
And they're not going to turn it down.
Yeah.
But they might have a better idea of how your back hurt. Anyway, so did you guys figure it out?
No, she was just told to get the X-rays. We did, and then they never came, the X-rays, actually.
What part of her back is it?
Lower back.
Lower back. Okay, here's what I recommend.
What?
Take this fucking stone.
Amazon.
It's called backbreaker.
Yeah.
Back fixer.
Yeah.
No, try the mattress.
Yeah.
Change the mattress. Does she have a new mattress?
No, we do not.
When I was young, like 22 years old, my lower back was hurting like fucking crazy, and it was a Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Really?
And I was like a grandpa working at Dave and Buster's, I couldn't even pick up the bus tubs off the ground. I had to ask people to help me lift it, and I finally figured it out because I was smart enough not to go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like you. I'm never going to go because I don't want anything that they're pushing over there, man. I will fucking just die. I'm not doing it.
And you know too much.
Exactly, and they're fucking quacks.
Yeah.
So I would recommend changing out the mattress. I bet you she hasn't changed it out in like 8 years.
I'm sure. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, change it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
We'll do that.
All right. So anyway, come here next week for your health advice.
Yeah, and also, if, we need a new Chris.
And we need a Chris.
I did find, I was reading, I was going through Instagram as I do, typical fucking social Instagram fiend that I am. And I read this thing that caught my attention because I was actually puzzled, and I wanted to ask you guys, or ask you now.
Yeah.
50 Cent's son, Marquise, says that 50 Cent would pay $6,700 per month for child support. And he was complaining about it not being enough.
Right.
Okay. His excuse was that it's not enough money to live in New York. In New York City. And I looked up the average, by the way, 6,700 times 12 months, making a year, is $8,000 $80,400.
80,400.
Yes, I'm that good at math.
And I wonder, we should look up, because if this is tax free, do they tax your?
I wouldn't know, man. I don't.
They probably would, those fucking assholes. But his money is already taxed.
That's what I think.
Right?
You would think that they wouldn't, but
you know what else? You know what else is also taxed?
Yeah, inheritance that they already taxed.
Or the biggest one that drives me crazy, which I've never had it, but I've read, if you're unemployed, the money that you get from unemployment is taxable.
Really?
Which all of the money for unemployment is from our taxes that we give them. It's all tax money. 100% of it is taxed. They take the money that was taxed to give it to you, and they tax it again.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
It's insane, huh?
Yeah.
I was just watching something the other day, and we were talking about that shit. Who was it? Oh, no, I was hanging out with one of Jasmine's friends, and she was saying that her mom went to this it's not Mexican, but it's one of those Hispanic channels contest game shows, like on Telemundo or something like that, and she won, dude.
Oh,
she won she won a truck. She won a like a trip
she won, like,
somewhere.
The showcase on the Price is Right type of a thing.
And she had to pay taxes on it. And I think it's such bullshit that, like, hey, man, even if that's the rules, pick up the fucking Slack game show, right? I think that would be kind of cool to be like, okay,
cool.
You're like, all right, so really you're going to win $50,000, but it's actually going to be like more like $63,000, but we're going to cover that tax so we can give
just
you.
Make it the number.
Yeah.
If it's $50,000, make them win $35,000.
Yeah.
And then you're like, we're keeping this for taxes.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yes.
But or if you win a boat that costs $50,000, not everyone has the fucking money to pay the taxes on that type of a thing.
Dude, I knew of a guy that his stepdad won like a truck once at a casino, and he said no. Because he's like, I don't have $6,000 to pay for taxes right now.
Yeah.
So he turned it down.
They're like, well, he should have just sold the truck.
Yeah, no shit. So whatever.
There's a reason why that guy didn't have $6,000.
Yeah, no shit, huh? But anyways, so what do you think, man? How would you feel if you were? Let's play both sides of the spectrum here. You're 50.
50 Cent, right?
You're 50 Cent.
And
you're
I'm giving
$6,700
a month.
$6,700 a month.
Right, which I think that's a lot of money to receive just in child support. Because child support is not supposed to support your whole entire lifestyle. It's supposed to be support for the child, like, buy him stuff for school, food. Yeah. It's supposed to help the mother, So I think it's plenty of money, and I don't, But the only thing I could think of as an argument is, like, he could probably afford a little more, right? The guy's super fucking rich, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Now, let's say your dad is 50 Cent and you're only getting, I shouldn't say that, you're getting $6,700 a month.
And I'm under 18, right?
You're under 18.
It seems like...
But it doesn't really go to you, right?
No, it goes to my mother, my baby mama.
Yeah. How would that make you feel?
If I'm the kid?
If you're the kid, you don't really see your dad, because that's the other thing he was saying, that, well, here, I'll give him back his money if you spend time with me or whatever, He's throwing that in his face. But now, you're the kid, how do you feel?
I feel like I feel fine, because I'm fucking 17 years old, 16 years old. I don't even really know how much money that is at that age, right? The only way I'm upset about it is if my mom's talking shit in my ear all day long and poisoning my mind, and then I'm not seeing any of the money. Like, well, he's only giving us $6,700 a month, and I'm like thinking that's not a lot of money, but I don't see any of it, right? Like, she's not buying me any clothes. She's just, I don't know. That's the way I could see, like, that I'm not seeing any of the money at all. If I can see her going out and spending it somewhere else. But as far as the amount of money, I think that'd be great.
Now, do you think you would? I think you're thinking like Daniel, like fucking middle-aged guy, and raising a family yourself and all of that. But if you put yourself in, let's say, I don't know,
teenage Daniel.
Angry. You're angry.
I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm blaming everything on my parents.
And then
right
you
now.
see, yes, and then you see,
I'm the victim. I'm the victim
exactly
because my father is 50 Cent,
and he
fucking left me, and I'm only getting $6,700 a month, and I live in New York City.
Still so stupid.
How am I supposed to go out?
Yeah.
I have to look like 50 Cent's son, right?
Yeah.
I have to look like somebody, and I have to go out. I mean, how is that even going to support my clothing? I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in his shoes.
Well, I'm just saying. If you imagine yourself with $6,700, which you and I both agree is a decent amount of money to be paying for child support. Now, that's there if the mom works, which I'm assuming maybe she does, but maybe she doesn't. I don't know. But if she does, then that's just on top of shit, right?
Right.
If somebody gave me with what I make another $6,700,
that's what I'm saying.
Give me 3 babies. I got this shit.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fine. Like the baby's gonna be fine too.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm gonna be fine as long as this kid doesn't reach 18. After that, I think that's when child support cuts off.
But here's the thing. Then here's when the poison starts hitting you. I think you're watching the fucking Super Bowl. Here comes your dad, or your ex, or whatever the fuck he was to the lady, and he's hanging upside down, performing in the Super Bowl, and he's hanging out with Snoop, and he's hanging out with Drake.
His face looks too big. All the blood is going to his face. He looks horrible.
Yeah, he definitely gained some pounds, and and then you see him on TMZ, you see him perhaps on videos, and you start, I think, why one would grow resentment is you start thinking of what would, had he been my father and I lived with him, what kind of life would I have as opposed to the one I have now?
Right.
Right. In comparison. So in comparison, you have a shittier life than you would have had you maybe lived with your father. But I think they lose perspective in comparison to the other people to
a regular person.
They're not getting $6,700 a month.
People are getting like $600 a month here, right?
Dude, it's so fucking bad.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I could see, I could, of course, look it. If you're a teenager, you're gonna be mad at your father no matter what.
Were you mad at your father?
Yeah, I was mad at him sometimes.
I think there was mad moments, but I don't think in general, like if I had to like pick, was I mad at my parents? I don't think I really ever was, dude. But that's just me. I don't know. I feel like white kids are different. I was just like I'm cool. They're not mad at me right now. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I had the same type of resentment that you're thinking of. But I guess what I was trying to say is that I think that is the age when you're the most mad at your parents, if you're gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because eventually you have to grow up and realize your parents are just regular ass fucking people who have no idea what they're doing. Because you get to be the age of your parents, right? And they have kids young, younger than I did.
Yeah.
And I always try to picture like, damn, my dad was that old when he had me, or when he had his first kid.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing still. You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody does.
Right. I think there's this thing that you think as a kid, like, hey, they're an adult and they haven't figured it out, and we really don't. That's how I feel,
You know when I realized...
But when you're young, you have your parents, like...
They know everything.
They know everything.
Yeah.
How could you make a mistake like that,
I still remember when... Not that I ever lost respect for my dad. Sorry, Dad. But when I realized, he's just a fucking kid still. As we were at the school, we would go and run at the school. It was very big on, hey, let's go run or work out or whatever, or go play and be active, right? So we're hanging out at the school near our house, and we're done with our jog, and maybe we're just chit-chatting a little bit. And then across the other side of the school, there's just this guy practicing his golf swing, and he's hitting balls, and I think he has a net. or something like that. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So we go by the water fountain, and it's on the corner of some building. So here's the edge of the building, and you peek out, and you can see the other side of the field. You see this guy. It was only that guy at the fucking school at that time. And without saying anything, in his backswing, when he goes forward, my dad just goes, "Hey!" And then the guy just swings and almost like he looks so goofy doing it.
Yeah.
And he didn't tell me anything. He's all like, "Watch this," none of that shit. And then he told me to hide. And then we did, and we were laughing, and we walked home, and we never spoke about it again.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I think I was maybe like 11. And that happened, and I was like, oh, you're just like me still.
Yeah.
And then you're like, they're not, they're still humans. They still fucking do stupid things like that.
I could never imagine my dad doing something like that.
No?
He was so fucking serious, He was a very serious guy. As far as that, I mean, I'm sure he could be goofy in other ways or silly in other ways, but I don't think he would ever be like, "Hey, motherfucker," on the back.
But here's the thing. Back in those days, my dad was.
But I would.
Very, very serious too.
Yeah.
It's just like I think
you caught a glimpse of it.
Yes, he let his guard down.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I see you, motherfucker.
Yeah. You're a person.
Yeah, you're a person, and you're just like me. Do stupid things every once in a while. Now I don't think I saw it before or after that.
That was it.
That was it, and I was like,
small little window.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing either, huh?
Yeah.
Anyways, you got something else?
I do. Well, we're gonna start a segment here, and me and Louie talked about this in depth, along with Chris. And basically, we feel that there's a lot of sex shows. That's not true at all. Okay. Let me start over.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I hear podcasts, like an all-woman podcast, I feel like they give a lot of sex tips.
Oh, okay.
To the ladies and to the men.
Okay.
And I don't hear a lot of man podcasts giving advice to the ladies.
Oh.
Do you ever hear that? I don't feel like I hear it. There's tons of women giving advice for both males and females.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying I can give a lot of advice to the males, but I do think that I can give some advice, as can you, and definitely Chris. I wish he was here for the first segment ever. And I think that we should be given a little bit of advice.
Orange belt advice, right?
Right. Orange belt sex advice. Now, I can't talk to cock rings and the Amazon and what Chris level.
Yeah.
But I think I could start with the basics.
Okay.
All right.
Tell me
this
about
is
the
going to be a quick thing because there's not much to it. Now, the only way I can compare this, right?
Okay.
When a guy first starts boxing.
Yes.
Okay. And he throws out his jab.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he starts getting it pretty good.
Okay.
And he can throw it kind of straight, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times what the coach will tell you is bring it back quickly. Stop focusing on throwing it forward. Focus on bringing it back, right? And it'll help with your overall punching power if you stop trying to push it so hard, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to say is I feel like sometimes, I feel like, and I think this is probably because of porn, when a woman is riding a guy, I feel like she's really focused on the down thrust instead of the up thrust. So ladies out there, if you're listening, if you're going to go down and you're on top, don't focus so much on the going down, but also focus on pulling it back and make sure you have some traction
on the way back
as well as the way down. It's not all about just bang, bang, pulling it down.
Yes, because the actual stroking, whether it's up or down, is what gives a good sensation.
It's what gives a good sensation. Just like, I don't know what I can compare it to, but it's just like anything. If a guy's masturbating, he might just be pulling on the down a lot, but he's also giving it some friction on the way up. Yeah. And ladies, I just think it's going to take your riding game to the next level if you just focus on the pull back as well as the push in. You don't have to do it the whole time.
Yeah.
And you could just focus on just the pull back and not so much the push in. And that's my tip for the day.
Okay.
On the riding portion. Okay. And I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, I actually agree.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I will also say that for me, if we were to take the level of enjoyment, right, at a percentage of 100,
okay,
65 to 70% for me is on the way down.
On the way down
that I enjoy the most. But there's still
fair,
30 to 35% that you got,
right.
And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would say the majority of it is entering, especially the first time you enter, right as you go in, that's going to be like a lot of the enjoyment.
Yes.
And yes, a lot of it is coming down. And you can have a really solid 65% riding game, but imagine you could increase that by just 10%.
Are you trying to make the all-star team?
Yeah,
because that's what we're saying.
Do you want to be good at it?
Yeah.
Or do you just not really care? Do you want to be a 60? Do you want to be a D plus?
Yeah, that's what you are.
Or do you want to be because that's what you are if you're just focusing on the down. And I just think with a little bit of conscious effort, you could be a B student in like a night without studying, So that's my sex tip for the day, ladies. Take it what it's worth.
Now, I was just talking to somebody about how I think that that guys are more simple to satisfy. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Way simpler.
Way simpler, right? But there's still, we probably have different sexual preferences.
Sure.
But what would you say are some of if you have to name 3 that the majority of guys enjoy or are pretty basic, like we all like this, and we all like that for the most part. Different variations of it or whatever, because I found that, I don't know how about your sexual experiences, but like there's, one girl could be one way and what she likes could be completely different than another, right? You can be with a girl that's very aggressive and then you go with someone that wants to just be more sensitive or different type of things. And
right.
And as a teenager or early a young adult, it fucking confuses you, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I don't think we're like that. I think, you just have to have a pulse for a fucking guy and then, we're good to go.
Yeah.
And with the girl, you can take her out of it or you can, it can start with like, I'm going to give this guy a shot. And then if you do well, you're like, holy shit, if there's a connection there sexually. But with guys, I don't think we have that, dude.
Right. Yeah. I definitely feel like sometimes it can feel like for a guy, like you finally made it to the playoffs or I'm sorry. You didn't make it to the playoffs. You finally made it to the tryouts. Maybe for
more like that. Yeah.
Maybe for a professional team. Maybe you've been wanting to play for this team for a while, and you've been
a long time.
You've been eyeing the team.
Yeah.
You've looked up the team online.
Yeah.
You know all the team's rivals.
You know who we are? Rudy.
We're Rudy. Yeah,
we're fucking Rudy.
You might be a little bit late. Maybe a lot of other guys got a shot at the NFL before you did.
Yeah.
But now you finally got your shot.
Yeah.
And you really don't want to blow the you want to.
Well, you want to blow.
You want them to blow.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to. Do
There's some blowing going on for sure.
Well, but you want to make sure that you make a good impression on those coaches, man.
Yeah.
And those coaches sometimes are more hard to impress than other coaches.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm trying to say is, on the other side, I don't think it's as hard to make the team. You know what I mean?
No.
The girls have a lot easier time making the cut than the guy has chance to make it to the Eagles when he's 35,
Yeah.
That's what I'm
now we're talking Mark Wahlberg movie, whatever that one was. Yeah. I feel that I was just, that's so funny. I was just talking to Jasmine and her friend. They were like, how was it your first time? Or how was it like, I was like, you have to understand that it's for a guy, it's hard for a girl too, in the sense that you have a fucking guy that could probably, stronger than you. And if you change your mind and depending on the guy, it can really turn fucking ugly. But for the most part, the guy is going to be easy to satisfy. For a girl, it's well, I don't have to fucking tell anybody. Even if you're a guy, that's like, oh shit, I fucked that up, or she's different than this one, or whatever. And And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I remember when my first breast, I was like, "What do I do here? Do I caress it? Do I squeeze it? Do I do both? Do I bite it? Do I lick it?"
Yeah.
And then like I've seen all kinds of things, and then you think you're smooth with it, but you don't know if you were like, as a fucking young man. But anyways, I was just telling them that, and I stand by that. Like
it is, and you know what the thing is? It's just more complicated, right? The penis is an easy thing.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to pleasure. All you do is you put your vagina on it, and the guy's gonna go out of his mind. Whereas the vagina is not as easy to pleasure. You can't just put your penis in there all the time. It doesn't always necessarily mean it's gonna feel good. You might have to like stimulate the clit at the same time, or thrust up at a certain motion, or hit the spot at the magic spot with your leg up in the air. Because all the girls are built so differently.
Yeah, and some girls might like it in a different place.
Right. Like you might be able. Some girls get off on doggy real easy. Some you can't even get in there.
No,
it's too curvy or something. Like they don't like it. So yeah, there's such a variation on each girl that it's sometimes it takes a little longer to figure out, I think.
Yeah, I compared it to like landing a fatality. Remember those fatalities in Mortal Kombat?
In Mortal Kombat?
When you had to like back in our day, like I remember you had to go get a magazine, much like porn back then.
Yeah.
And like figure out what the fucking combination was to get that fatality.
Yeah.
And then even still, you had to practice and practice and practice. And when you fucking got the fatality, dude, it felt so good.
It felt so good.
And
And that is about how difficult it can feel sometimes. It's like you got to do research.
Yeah.
And then like the thing is, it's like it's not like you're always playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And then when you do play, it's not like you always win and get to the chance to get the fatality.
Yeah.
And once you get there, you're like, oh, I can do the fucking fatality that I've been practicing. And you don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then when you're learning to play Mortal Kombat, like not everybody's willing to let you play with their PlayStation, dude.
That's true.
That's part of the problem.
And Liu Kang, it's super easy to do his.
Yes.
Whereas fucking Sub-Zero, why is it so hard? Why is it so many more buttons to get the fatality than this one,
Because the cool ones are always harder, dude.
That's true. Yeah, they take a lot more effort. So, that's what it's like. That was a really good analogy right there. That's
fatality. Orgasms.
Fatality.
Do you want to do the baby doll, or what do you think? We should do one more thing, or what?
I guess we could do it.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
I think so.
All right, let's do it.
For missing one of the legs of the tripod.
Yeah, one of the legs of the tripod. Okay, let me bring it up. All right. Well, this one is a pretty straightforward one. I don't even think I really need to read this fucking article, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay, then do.
Because it's a recent article. Anyway, everybody, the baby doll of the week is... President Biden. Now, this is not... First of all, hold on a second.
I think
I might have to take this shit fucking back. Yeah. Let me rewind it. I thought it said Obama when I opened it. Okay.
Oh, no.
Let's pretend it was a different president. Let's pretend you don't know this guy's name. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this is not a political show at all, but I do think it's cool that finally someone is pardoning thousands of people convicted in the federal courts for the possession of cannabis. I
saw that, dude.
So, despite what you think about Biden
being a zombie,
not being able to speak and stuff like that, being a zombie, and I don't want to go into other things about that. But despite what you think about it, if you think it's good or not, I think that you should side with the fact of releasing people from federal prison for the use of cannabis. I think you should consider it for possibly all of the drugs, but we can start here with cannabis because, there's people that have been locked up for, their whole fucking life because they had a fucking,
a joint,
a dime or a joint,
The ones that got caught multiple times for weed maybe got the 3 strikes rule.
Oh, the 3 strikes rule back in the day, yeah.
Are we going to base our legal system off of baseball?
Off of strikes?
What the fuck are you talking about?
It is America's pastime, but we're taking it a little far. Because are we going to have home run offenses?
That one
was close, but it's that we called that one a foul ball. So you're going to get one more pitch for the rest of your life. But I think that I mean, it's a long time coming, and it's one thing changing the law. I mean, it's fucked up. If you're in prison for weed, they change the law, and then you're still in fucking prison. What are we doing?
Yeah.
If you change the law, let them all out.
Now,
and it's not even all of them. It says thousands, but I think they, hopefully it's just taking a long time to let them all out. But shit, there's just so many times that we could all be in jail for that. I feel like, it was just a matter of luck.
I still ask myself sometimes, like, oh, wait a minute. So, like, if I go to a cafe, a cannabis cafe, which I've been to, and then maybe somebody from work sees me, but they're not smoking and they're my superior, will I get in trouble for this?
Right.
Because I work and live in a state where it's legal, but federally it's still a fucking crime. So the lines are blurred, and I don't know how I should, act doing certain things.
Or drug tests for your employment. I've always wondered, if I'm getting a new job, do I have to stop smoking weed in order to get the job? Because I don't know where that, where the line is. I think there's some new laws coming out for healthcare workers that say it doesn't matter anymore and you're protected, but not if you're going to work for the federal government, I'm sure. So
no, I think those guys, forget it.
Gotta be. Yeah. So anyway, but in New York,
I couldn't believe you said that.
Oh man, I just thought.
But you know what? Fuck it, man. Whatever. And
it's a baby doll move.
Yeah, and if Trump did it, fuck it.
Yeah, he would have been the baby doll. You can, just because you got the baby doll of the week, it doesn't mean you're a baby doll person. I mean, you do a baby doll thing and a really good thing for the.
He had just a moment.
He had a moment of being a baby doll, and we have to recognize.
And
those
it can
moments.
happen to anybody.
It could happen to anyone. Yeah. You could be a baby doll.
Yeah.
All
right, guys, that's all the time we have. Real important. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and share the podcast. That's also still a huge, huge help. And if you guys know anybody that didn't come to the podcast because he was probably doing the Amazon, show him this episode.
If you guys know anybody that needs help doing a Mortal Kombat fatality,
show him this episode.
All right, guys. See you next week.